Hi YouTube. So I'm kind of experimenting with lighting at the moment. I don't have, it won't surprise you to hear, professional light equipment or indeed a very professional camera to make these videos. I'm just doing it with my iPad in natural sunlight, and I wanted to be able to show you the colours, which are quite subtle, of some products that I bought yesterday, because I went on another shopping spree, having told you I've not really been shopping for a couple of months, except of course on the internet. Both of the last two Sundays I've been out snagging makeup items that I've had my eye on and been reading about and really wanted to get. So this week I had two items that I particularly wanted. Well, I knew I wanted to get one of them, and the other one I wanted to look at. I absolutely knew that I wanted to get this item, which is the Dior Shimmer powder in Amber Diamond, that I had actually swatched months and months ago and decided not to get at the time, because although I really liked it, I felt I couldn't justify buying it, because the uses I would put it to I thought would be very similar to how I use my Bobbi Brown shimmer bricks, and I already have three of those in different shades, one a bronze one, a pink one and a coral one. And I've had them for quite a while, certainly the bronze one a number of years, and they last for ages. I really like them and can use them as kind of highlight and, you know, even at a push as eyeshadow. But then I've really seen a lot of people raving about this product, and really I love highlights and shimmers, and this is a super fine powder, so I decided that I was definitely going to get this, even though it's quite expensive at I think £32. I'm guessing it will last me a long time. So you can see it's beautifully packaged as ever. You get the most gorgeous colour payoff of sheen, which I really like, and I did use this yesterday, even coming home, just using some of this colour to brighten up the eye makeup I was already wearing. I'm really pleased with it. So it actually was quite difficult to get. I've read that they've discontinued it, although most of the sales assistants I spoke to at various Dior concessions, I've been trying to get it for the last few weeks when I've been out and about around the country, either hadn't heard of it, which is unbelievable to me, but it just shows how poorly trained many of these girls are now working on Dior concessions, or, you know, they knew what I was talking about, but they were just out of stock, but didn't know that it was being discontinued. So I'm still not terribly sure what the deal is with it, but anyway, I'm glad I got mine. I was almost tempted. The other, this is Amber Lights, and is the kind of corally peachy shade, peachy really. The other one is a more pink shade, which I think is called Rose Diamond. And the sales assistant where I bought this, which was actually Harrods in the end, was much keener on the pink one and trying to get me to get that. Although when we actually tried it on me, she agreed that the Amber Diamond one was the better one on my colouring. Although she'd been so vociferous up till then that I wondered if she was just kind of, you know, giving in because I was the customer. So that kind of put doubts in my mind. But anyway, I went for the Amber Diamond one, the peachy one in the end. Then the other product that I knew I wanted to try was Burberry's new foundation, which is their Velvet Foundation. I already have and absolutely love, and I've raved about it on here, their sheer foundation, which they brought out earlier this year, and I can put the two together. Does that have, yeah, there's the front of that one. So you can see the packaging is very different, but very similar, but they've gone from the shiny and completely transparent packaging of the sheer, they've gone to a more frosted look for the satin foundation, which is very nice, and the packaging is plastic, not glass, so although it's quite substantial, it's not too heavy to travel with. Now you can see the difference, I hope, in the colour. Now admittedly, the sheer that I purchased in April before I went on holiday, I did tell her I was going to be wearing on holiday when I would be, perhaps a little more colour. And this one, the velvet one, I want to wear in the winter when I'm, paler and like a paler look anyway. To be honest, my colour doesn't change that much all year because I don't tan or anything like that. And we tried both. I was matched for this one at Harrods, the one that I'd originally bought, this one at Harvey Nichols. There aren't that many places that sell Burberry makeup, so, you have to go around to these high-end stores to get it at all. We tried a very similar shade, and the Burberry shading is really odd because the numbers don't go in the order that you would expect. So, for example, a 5 is not necessarily darker than a 3. This is a number 3. And then just to make things even more complicated, the new range hasn't got single digit figures. It's got, this one is 201. So, I would have to say Burberry don't make it easy for people to buy online, bearing in mind that there aren't that many places, counters, where you can physically go and be matched and buy something. I know the products quite well now because I've bought a few of them, and I would certainly think twice before buying anything online because it's just impossible to work out the shade that's right for you. So I think that's a really bad mark for Burberry. I mean, I'm all for keeping things exclusive, but that, it's a bit too much really. And it seems to me to discriminate enormously against people who aren't living in London. I just don't know where you can buy these outside of London. I'm sure there are concessions in the big cities, but it's difficult to get your hands on. Anyway, so we tried the shade that was most similar to this, and I looked as if I'd been tangoed. Admittedly, the French makeup artist was keen in slapping a lot of makeup on. So she took it all off, and we did it all again. And, I don't know how this is going to show up, but I really liked the foundation. It gives a much... thicker sounds horrible, but it is thicker coverage than the sheer as you'd expect, and it's matte. Now I generally like a more translucent coverage because I have drier, older skin, certainly not greasy, so I can stand what I like to call luminosity, some people call shine, but I can add that with other products. So I'm going to try that one. It certainly looked very good when she had applied it, and some people complimented me on my makeup afterwards, but I'll let you know how I get on with that. And then I bought, it was a big spend day yesterday, the Fresh Glow, which is the translucency product. It looks like a foundation, almost a pale foundation in the bottle. In fact, it goes on virtually colourless, but is a treatment and also adds, the famous glow. So you can wear it on its own if you've got good skin. It's treating your skin. I'm not sure if it's giving you any sunscreen. I don't think it is. Again, they don't give very much information on their products, which is also a down. But adds a bit of luminosity, as it were. I had tried that out under the Sheer Glow when I first bought the Sheer Glow. Told the assistant, yeah, I would buy it. And then, in fact, they didn't have any. So that wasn't very good. And then, this is going to be a very long video. I then wanted to look at one of the 3 new eyeshadow shades that I knew they had brought out. I'd read about. Not a shade I would normally go for, called Mulberry, and it looks quite red. with quite a bit of glitter, but I'd read a lot of, well, several bloggers raving about this, so I decided to try it and decided I really liked it. It goes on much more browny, coppery, with a lot of, you know, luminosity and differentiation in shade, and it feels like absolute silk. Now, I wore some of this, and when I touched my eyes late yesterday evening, about 6 hours after it had been applied, more in fact, first of all, it hadn't creased at all on my eyelids, although I had been wearing some Chanel Illusion d'Ombre underneath, which might have held it. But my eyelids felt like silk. The condition of these shadows is just stunning. I've never felt anything like it, I have to say. Now, they should be stunning because they're £22 each for a small pan, albeit beautifully packaged. I got a free one because I think the two skin products, foundation products, cost £70 together, or just under, or yeah, 70. And so you're getting a free gift, which is another one of their bags. I've already had one of these. I really like them because I like black mesh bags, so I can always use them. But, you know, I wouldn't be too bothered about that. But a full-sized eyeshadow, which I got in another autumn-winter shade, from the permanent range, Midnight Brown, which is just a gorgeous chocolatey brown. But again, super blendable, and it looks, you know, really, really pretty on. So because I was spending quite a lot, I got the two of those for effectively 22, which is, you know, stunning value. Really, really pleased with those items. So, you know, I just can't praise Burberry makeup enough. Beautiful. Just show you four nail polishes from my new fave, Nail Ink, whilst I'm in the good light. It was bought as a set from QVC, this lot. I'm not very keen on the navy blue glitter. Not sure I'll wear that a lot, might give that one away. But the other three I really liked. This is very similar to their famous Portchester Square, although it's got an opalescence, a sheen, that Portchester Square is matte, but it's a very similar shade, which frankly is quite similar to the latest Chanel. I think it's Vertigo, or that might be Frenzy. I'm getting them mixed up. The one that I didn't buy because it's so similar to Portchester Square. And then a brown with kind of aubergine in, which again is quite similar to, an old Chanel that I've got, which is called Imperial, that I'm getting towards the end, but I do wear a lot in the winter. This is the one I really wanted, a real hunter green. I don't know how that's showing up. I've got it on my nails at the moment. It looks very, very dark in some lights, but in bright light, you know, it's this really dark green that I absolutely love. I think it's going to be a big shade this autumn, and really nice. So a bit of a splurge, but I'm really pleased with my products, and I think that's probably it for me for this autumn. I'm not going to get any new lipsticks because I've got a few browns and nudes that I intend wearing as I transition into my beloved reds for winter. And I suppose I might just be in the market for a blush, but basically I'm quite pleased with what I've got, and I think I'll be bringing out in particular my Chanel Plum Attraction, which is a nice deep shade for autumn. Yeah, so I'm pretty much done. Have a great day and a lovely start to the fall or autumn. Bye for now.